Good morning and welcome to the Option Pit AM Volatility Report. I'm Mark Sebastian, the founder of Option Pit, and we had a great session on Saturday. We had a little bit of a hiccup there with one thing, but I believe we started at 9:30. Andrew taught straight through till about 11:15. And then I picked up. I didn't get done until 1:15. So we got, all told about 3.5 hours, and I thought it was some pretty good content. The feedback's been pretty nice. We will have those recordings up for sale if you are interested. They're going to go up at full price, no discounting, $147 a pop. But it's $147 well spent. So look for that in our upcoming products page. All right, let's talk about the market. Well, here we are. We got the market rallying again. I think we kind of saw a little bit of a vol run up into the weekend for kind of no reason, just some scared trading. That seems to have dissipated, and we can see that the VIX is now, VIX futures are really starting to make a run lower. It's interesting. The VIX futures are, at lows, whereas the VIX is still a good 50 cents above its old low. That's a tightening of that spread. That said, the VIX March spread and really the VIX April spread, those are super wide. All right, $2.30 for that spread is outlandish, and it really points toward there still being tons of slack in the VIX futures. I mean, they could easily, VIX could stay here, and the VIX futures could decay to 15. I mean, that's the way I see things, and that's the way I think things could happen. The high on these has been about $1.60. I still think the March 16s look like an interesting trade. I think there's some edge in that. If you're a little more skittish, I might look at like the 15 puts, which are only 70 cents. But both of those would be interesting plays with what's going on in the VIX right now. I think the futures are going to have a pretty ugly trip. Bonds have been bouncing around, but they've been staying above kind of those sell-off lows. So they seem to have found a floor. Oil, the USO, despite all this glut, has found itself a floor above 18. All right, so that seems to be in pretty decent shape as well. So really not a lot of risk floating around. I think oil is absolutely finding a base. Some strength. Apple making another run at 130, a little strength out of Amazon, some of the other cloud names, Google, and obviously with that net neutrality ruling doing pretty well. Apple's gain is apparently Tesla's loss. One other interesting trade, MasterCard, Visa, AXP. So MasterCard's up a touch, but the big winner today is Visa because of the Costco deal. That Costco deal could mean a lot to the bottom line. Now, one thing per player this might actually hurt is Costco. I'm surprised they went for it because they're going to get fewer specialized Costco names out of a Visa deal because just about everybody in the world has a Visa card. That was always one of the weaknesses with the MasterCard deal as well. But I do think that that deal is probably better for Visa than it is good for Costco. So that's one thing to be aware of, although I'm sure the economics on that deal are more than fine. On the day, I expect that we'll have a grinding rally. We'll probably break the highs of last week. On a day like today, we might probably even see the VIX down on the day. So that's kind of my expectations. I think, VXX and UVXY are ugly. I think directly in March VIX options, if you're looking to play shortfall, is the way to do it. There's just too much juice, although that contango between April and March is starting to get nasty. All right, folks, if you have questions, you can email me, mark@optionpit.com. You can call me 888-TRADE-01. All right, everybody, have a great day.